Go up.
Okay, here we are, underway. 5-kilometer championships.
Here we are, 5-kilometer championships. The swimmers are underway. I was having breakfast with Alex Meyer this morning, and one thing that he rightly pointed out is nobody's going to lose the race on the start. Or excuse me, nobody's going to win the race on the start, but certainly could lose it. So these guys want to definitely stay in the hunt. There's not going to be as much of that cat and mouse play that we see in a 10-kilometer race, although this still is obviously very long swimming. But typically in a 5K, we see the rate a lot faster, swimmers going after it a lot sooner. And right now, just as is often the case, you see the swimmers
kind of settling into their rhythm after that initial burst of speed at the start. They're starting to emerge this early in the race.
Veteran Chip Peterson out there looking strong in the middle of the pack, leading the group.
Mike, if you have a chance, both lines. Let's try your microphone again. Let's give it a shot. I'll give you 30 seconds. See if we can get it in here. If not, we'll just go right back to the radio.
So athletes settling into the pace here as we head towards the first tetrahedral buoy. And Chip Peterson looking really strong, really smooth. It's hard from this vantage point to actually see exactly who the other leaders are, but again, early in the race, even though the tempo is it's going to be quick. Nobody wants to be left behind for sure. If they want to be in the hunt, at this point, you definitely want to be.
Mike Lewis, off line.
Go ahead, sir.
Hey, you were giving it a shot on the mic.
That's affirmative.
All right, let's try it again on the microphone right now.
And so the swimmers settling in here as we head towards the first buoy. Nobody wants to be too far behind in this race. 5 kilometers, half the distance, meaning that you have half that distance to make it up if you get too far off the leaders. Certainly still a large amount of strategy. This is by no means a sprint. A lot of these swimmers look at the 1500 as a sprint. But this race today will take a little bit under 1 hour. Beautiful conditions out here today. That's Joey Pedraza coming around first, perhaps. A little difficult, as I said, to see given the glare where we're at. We'll get a little bit better line of sight here as the boat comes up and follows the leader. Smooth going around this first buoy, though. Of course, a little bit of incidental contact, as you'd expect. But the group negotiates this. Some of these swimmers, it's their first open water swim. It's a great way for our top athletes in the United States who have experienced a lot of pool success to get entry into the open water. And coming along this back stretch, very, very smooth. Yeah, that's Joey Pedraza currently in the lead. Right behind him, Chip Peterson. Dan O'Connor in there in the third position. Alex Meyer right there on the heels of the leaders.
I don't think that's Pedraza. Pedraza has a Mustang. That's right. See if we can get a little better. Yeah,
we're now coming down this first backstretch. Smooth, as Just very, very glassy out here right now. Really, really nice.
So 65.
Mike, you're definitely online there.
63. Mitchell.
He's both runner aquatics.
Yeah, Mitchell Hustler.
Mitchell Huxler out there took the early lead from Roadrunner Aquatics, but Dan O'Connor is now taken over. Alex Meyer in the third position. Right there in the fourth, David Herron
With that orange Tennessee volunteer cap on there, Chip Peterson next to him. Joey Pedraza inside in the black USA cap next to Chip Peterson in the white USA cap. But as you'd expect at this point, yeah, definitely a much faster rate than you saw in the 10K. Alex just slipped right in there behind Dan O'Connor, looking very smooth. Alex did confess to me this morning he was feeling a little sore after that 10K. A lot of tempo changes in that race. But he's sure looking good. He was looking good yesterday also over there in the pool. Right behind, coming up, also looking strong. David Herron. He's definitely one to watch. Herron really closed the gap in a big way towards the finish of the 10K. Got in there to make that
national team spot. But it's Dan O'Connor at the front of the group, Alex Meyer second, now David Herron in the third position. And we got from the first to the pack, we're looking at about 75 meters now. As we said at the beginning, definitely do not want to get too far off the pack in this race. Calm in the middle, looks like it's Jordan Willamowski on the outside of the port. Him and Tim Casey, Brendan Casey. And both of those two did a really interesting amount of teamwork during that 10K on Friday. That was very interesting to watch as Jordan was doing his best to keep Casey in the race, and he certainly did. But those two working side by side as a team in the middle of the pack, definitely within striking distance. Dan O'Connor, however, still in the lead. Alex Meyer moving right into that sweet spot. We've talked about the sweet spot of drafting, right on the hips. A lot of people think it's right on the back of the feet, but you want to get in the pocket. That's the spot you want to be in to get the optimum draft. Now it looks like Alex moving up a little bit from my vantage point. We're a little bit back here. Officials want to move our boat to get on the inside. It'll make it easier for us to negotiate the buoys. So we work the inside, this official's boat. But you can see how closely bunched this pack is. Still a lot more so. Even though in our 10K this year, we saw both the men and women setting a very fast pace from the start, and we saw the pack really start to thin out. Not thinning out as much thus far, but yet very, very fast pace these swimmers are executing at this point.
Just a quick reminder that we do have commemorative open water national championship t-shirts on sale this morning. The folks from SwimWorks have got that for you. Just stop on by, $15. Good deal. Back to Mike Lewis.
We're moving back up toward the front, making our way on the inside here in the course. And from my vantage point now, Alex Meyer is taking the lead. Behind him, David Herring, Dan O'Connor. O'Connor now with the Michigan Matadors. Herring came up through the Matadors ranks.
That's a fast hat, so I'm assuming
Alex definitely setting a good speed. Really beautiful morning out here today. Water's warm. Ambient air temperature very comfortable. We could see the wind pick up a little bit as we move through this race and into the women's race. Got some conditions off the coast that will get some winds picking up today. But right now, smooth, just like Alex Meyer out there in front. Very, very smooth. If you're watching on the live feed, you can definitely see more kick than we saw in the 10K. Swimmers certainly want to reserve more of those legs in the longer race. By no means is this an aggressive kick, but you see more legs in this. Far cry from what we saw in 2013 when this lake was crazy winds we had. Not this go around, nice and smooth, beautiful out here. We're coming towards the tetrahedral buoys here on the far end of the course. And we're starting to see a little bit more separation in this pack. Definitely don't want to be more than probably about 30 meters off the leaders at this point, because this is a pace that's going to keep on going. We might see a few tempo changes during the race, but half the distance obviously gives the swimmers a lot more ability to hold their speed through the race.
So the swimmers are making their way around that buoy, and that's a great time to remind you, if you want to head down to the point, head on down there and see the action up close as the guys are working their way through circuit number 1 of 3. Back out to Mike Lewis.
And Sam, definitely a good pace being set by Alex Meyer. Even though he said he was feeling a little bit sore this morning, you're not seeing it right now. There may not be a lot at stake for Alex in this race in terms of national team selection or Pan Pacific selection, but for all these athletes, a national championship is a national championship, and that's a big deal. And they're all conditioned to race. We do have selections taking place for the juniors, however, and so these guys, there's a lot at stake. Chip Peterson in the third position. Oh, actually, no, Chip Peterson in the fourth position. Dan O'Connor came under that buoy. Was underwater just for a little bit. Now he's back up to the surface. He's putting a little bit of a push on coming down this back stretch. Alex Meyer turns over, does a little backstroke. Looks like he wants to maybe pass the lead over.
I understand this. I think that would be awesome.
So now David Herron has the lead. He's taking over. Alex sliding in right behind him. Brendan Casey, Jordan Willamowski, definitely working with one another. They're independent of the group. They're staying a bit on the inside. They don't want to mess with that pack. Still within striking distance. Getting about to that point where you don't want to be too far past where you see these two guys with the pink caps. That's Team Santa Monica. They're really setting an interesting standard at Team Santa Monica with regard to open water swimming. It's apparent that they've been talking strategy and working on this. But right now in the front, in that orange University of Tennessee cap, that's David Herron. Right behind him, Alex Meyer. Inside of Alex in the yellow Mission Viejo cap, that's Dan O'Connor.
Absolutely stunning shots going on here on the webcast this morning, folks. If you'd like to take a look at that, just grab your device, see if you get a signal. The guys from Take It Live are working hard for you this morning. If you don't get a chance to see it here today live, make sure you go back and watch the archive. Tremendous shots. Up close, personal, seeing some of this intense action in the pack. Just watching right now, seeing guys fighting for position. Heads are up looking around. You can even see the caps to see which team these guys are representing. So take a moment to check that out. Also, a big hello to all the folks out there watching on the webcast this morning. It's a beautiful day here at Castaic Lake in Southern California. Practically perfect. We love it. Back to Mike Lewis.
So, Sam, as we saw, Arthur Freda real strong at about the first 3/4 of that 10K, and he is definitely pushing up in the pack right now. He's in the 3rd position in that University of Florida cap right there next to Dan O'Connor. David Herron smooth out in front. Alex Meyer right behind him.
Mike, it looks like David Herron's doing a lot of the work out front while Alex Meyer just sitting right there on his heels. Good tempo there by Herron as they come into the completion of circuit number 1. We saw Herron have a good swim on the 10K Open Water National Championship a couple days ago. This young man's showing a lot of promise, but Alex Meyer, the veteran, lurking.
Yeah, Herron obviously doing most of the work on this one and leading, and Alex right there behind him. But Herron has youth on his side. Just 19, and although newer to the scene than Alex, he has been around open water for quite some time, done very well on the junior national scene, big success at the Junior Pan Pacific Championships. He's one we're for sure watching. Arthur Freda in the 3rd position, Dan O'Connor in the 4th. Going to get a little help here from spotting to see if we can get a little bit deeper. It kind of packs up there a bit.
Nope. Yes.
Field beginning to thin out a bit as you look across the water there. Just take a moment to look at this site in front of you, folks. Up into the mountains across this glass surface of Lake Castaic. It's absolutely gorgeous out here today. Couldn't ask for anything better.
We should try next week. Good enough.
Look at the volunteers out there on the water working with the swimmers. Great to have our safety staff here, part of the crew at Lake Castaic, do a great job. Folks from Canyons organizing this event this morning. Just a quick reminder, you can stop by the hospitality area and pick up some snacks or refreshments, sunscreen, whatever you need. See the folks from SwimWorks as well. They've got gear if you need it. We'll look back here and see the ladies are continuing their check-in process, and they're rolling through their check-in as we get ready for the women's 5K coming up after this event. Back to you, Mike Lewis.
Well, David Herron looking strong as we're 1/3 of the race. Coming around, this is lot faster pace, and he's looking very smooth out there. Without a doubt, he wants to take this national championship.
You guys are doing awesome. I'm using you guys both interchangeably. It's really looking good.
Alex Meyer still settling in that second position. Arthur Freyler in third, Dan O'Connor fourth. Chip Peterson in the fifth position. Joey Pedraza in the sixth position. These are ideal conditions right now. Even more smooth than what we saw on Friday, where the race started out smooth, but progressively we saw things picking up. At this point, things still very smooth out here. And it shows in the pack too. Everybody looks calm and relaxed. And we're starting to see the pack kind of separate out a little bit now. Our Team Santa Monica duo is separated. Willamowski up in front now. Casey back in the second pack. And coming up and making the turn here at this side of the course, it's going to be David Herron first around. Alex Meyer second. Arthur Freyler third, and then Dan O'Connor and Chip Peterson. Had an opportunity to talk to Chip a bit before the race, and yeah, it was really, really gutsy out there what he did on Friday in terms of making that break to catch up with Ryan Feely, but he definitely said that took its toll on him as it came to the end of the race, as you'd imagine. But Chip is one veteran, and he's one strong competitor. And he's always in there and doing a great job. He's made that, he's retained his spot on the national team. That's really good to have a veteran like that in the mix. One thing that Alex Meyer told me yesterday is he feels that the men's open water team at the national level sure is taking it up a notch, and they help one another along the way. The group of four heading on to the Pan Pacific Championships has been together before, same group that went to the World Championship last year. They train together, they support each other, and that's a big part of it. The teamwork is critical in open water swimming. Coming around is David Herron, turning it over on his back. Maybe he wants to give it up a little bit. He's looking back, just rolling on his back. I think he's going to pass it over to Alex now. Certainly that's exactly what happened. He passes over to Alex Meyer. He's going to try to slide into that sweet spot on the hip and draft along. That actually takes a bit of skill and coordination because you don't want your arms to get tangled up in there, but you want to for sure slide into that spot. If you're watching on the feed, you can see that little bit of sort of that arc that forms at the hip of the swimmer. That creates a little wave there from the legs, and you can ride in there, and it takes a lot of the effort off of you.
So we'll just interject here for a moment that Hospitality has fresh, hot Father's Day pancakes available for not only fathers, but anybody actually related to a father. You can go get some pancakes. Come on over. Also, a quick update for the ladies. You have a check-in process going on right now. Your pre-race briefing is scheduled for 9:15. That is about 45 minutes from now. And then we'll get you ready for your inspection and roll call. Won't be too long before these guys approach the halfway point of this morning's 5K National Championship. Great views on the webcast. The field is tightening up a bit out front once Herron kind of relinquished the lead to Alex Meyer. Several guys have bunched up in front. We'll get it back to Mike Lewis for an update.
That's right, Sam. It has bunched up here at the front of the pack as David Herron came around that buoy and said, hey, enough is enough. I now have set the pace. I want to slide in and get a little bit of the ride from the rest of the field. But we have no clear. Now it looks like Arthur Frailer is going to make the move, and he wants to get out there in front. He's kind of pinching over across from Alex Meyer. But 4 across now, we've got in the Florida Cup closest to the boat. That's Arthur Frailer. Next to him, Alex Meyer with Seal Innovation Team. Then it's David Heron. And up top, Dan O'Connor. And right behind Arthur Frailer, Chip Peterson. And we're doing our best here to identify deeper in the field, but we've got a lot of glare when we're looking at it from this perspective. Willamowski now on the outside. Look at if you're looking at the top of the course, away from the boat, he is moving up there all alone. And now coming on into contention. Once we get to this westernmost tetrahedral buoy, we'll probably see it pinch up a little bit. There's Frailer rolling over on his back, looking back, seeing, hey, is there somebody else I want to pass it over to? Do I have any of my Gator teammate that I can pull up in here? But he puts his head back down and takes it over. Willamowski, however, really up in the tempo and now in the lead as far as a straight line perspective goes, and we are just about exactly halfway into the race. And yes, Willamowski is setting a very, very tough pace at this point. He is going for it. He looks back to see, hey, am I going for it too much? Should I break from the crowd? He may just be trying to break people right now. That's another strategy these swimmers will use. I want to see if I can break some of my competitors. And that's what's happened if you look at the totality of the field. We've broken into sort of this one main group here, and it's going to be very difficult even for these guys at the back of the main group to stay on this pace, because Jordan is up the game here. A lot of psychology going into this and the tactics of open water swimming. That's why these swimmers are not only phenomenal in terms of their athletic prowess, but what it takes in terms of mental fortitude to stay in this game and not get broken. You swam a 10K on Friday, you're tired, there's a lot at stake, and it's easy for the mind to say, hey, listen, enough is enough. But not for these guys. They're going to keep going after it, and Jordan is really testing their mettle out here. It's difficult for us to tell from this perspective, but we think it may be Joey Pedraza that's hanging with Jordan Willamowski there at the top of the field. Dan O'Connor in that group of 3 that's just at the top of your camera. If you're looking on the web feed, in closest to us, that's Alex Meyer. Behind him, Arthur Frailer, Chip Peterson. This pace, however, that's being set by Jordan is really blistering right now. Definitely, this kick that he's employing is just phenomenal. There's still 2 kilometers to go, but he has really got this kick going for sure. We'll see what happens. He's a little bit outside from this inside group that's being led by Alex Meyer. So we'll see how the geometry plays out as we come along these buoys. Coming to this far end of the course. Willamowski now turning in a little bit. He'll still likely lead going around, but the distance will be cut a little bit just because he's going to have to circle on the outside a bit. That'll give Alex an ability to kind of get back in a little bit. Jordan's kick has come down just a bit. Oh, but as I mentioned that, there he goes. He turns it on again. I think he sees where he's at. He could see as he breathes off to his right side, you can see Alex on the inside. He wants to get around there clean. He is going to get around there clean. Behind him will be Joey Pedraza. Alex will slip into that third position. And it looks like behind him side by side, maybe pinching a little bit, it's going to be Dan O'Connor. They're actually taking that turn kind of wide. Nobody wants to touch each other, just keeps it going straight here.
So, folks, now's another great time to head on down to the point. If you want to see the action up close, just slide on down the beach. The guys will be coming by the point here shortly as they get ready to wrap up circuit number 2. On the webcast, we can see the water conditions. It is just absolutely glass down there. That part of the cove is very quiet this morning. We'll throw it back out to Mike Lewis as he works these guys through the 4th buoy on circuit 2.
Yeah, Sam, it is amazingly calm out here. Beautiful conditions. Only thing you can hear out here actually is the swimmer slapping the water coming through. Coming in first around this buoy. Willamowski holding that lead. Pedraza in the second position. Alex Meyer third. Chip Peterson then, and then Dan O'Connor. Arthur Frailer back there, and David Herron. So now we got a pack of about 17 that's separated, and this is where our winners are going to be coming from, this pack right here. They've definitely pulled their way out, away from the rest of the field. Willamowski kind of backed up a little bit here. He's holding things up. He's still in the lead, but he's kind of slowed the pace just a little bit from where we were as we were heading down the backstretch. I just want to conserve a little bit and then see if he could really throw the herd on as we head into the final lap. Very smooth, very efficient, holding nice water out in front. Efficient, too, in how he sights. If you're watching on the webcast, you can see when he lifts his head forward, he does it in a very fluid manner. His eyes just above the surface. He's looking back there. Now he sees what's going on. Kind of looks like he's just sort of toying with the rest of the group. Now, here comes Alex. Alex putting on a push. He's saying, hey, listen. He's kind of going, oh, I see. He's trying to cut out Joey Pedraza there just a little bit, and he wants to come on the inside to Willamowski. He probably sees Willamowski breathing off to the right, realizing that he's not going to see him. If he sneaks up next to him, right there, maybe he can kind of quietly ride in his draft. Pedraza coming up on the right side of Willamowski. Behind them, in a 4 across, real tightly bunched, is David Herron closest to the shore, Dan O'Connor, Arthur Frailer, and Chip Peterson. Yeah, you see they kind of tied it up there. Look at Willamowski, he's kind of slowed things up. He says, okay, you guys, let's you guys take the front now. And if you want to talk about an ideal position, any age groupers have probably played this game before, where you have the 2 big guys on the outside and you ride in the middle. That's exactly what it looks like right there. He's getting a little bit of that ride. He's a little bit lighter than Alex and Joey. Getting a nice little ride in the middle there. But Alex has now settled off the pace a little bit. Yeah, that's what's happening. They're slowing up just a little bit as we come through here. You can see the pack starting to bunch together. Somebody soon is going to put on a big push. And it's just a matter of when. There goes Alex. He's probably saying, okay, it's getting a little too tight for my comfort. You guys are close, maybe feeling good about yourself. Now I'm going to put it down again. That's another one of those psychological things. It's like, hey, I'm going to make you feel like you're in it. And then all of a sudden, boom, there you go. So it's the pace changes that can not only affect the body, but affect the mind of these swimmers. But so far, everybody here is still on the hunt.
So, folks, take a look out now as the big boat makes its way through the completion of circuit number 2. You can see a good look at the pack. And notice how much this lead pack is broken away from the field. Your winner is going to come out of that group right there. And it really changed. The last 200 meters, dynamics changed significantly in this race, as Mike described. The two guys that were out there challenging for the lead have moved up to push Willamowski. And Mike, from our position, it looks like, is it Alex Meyer out in front now?
That's correct. Alex Meyer is in the lead with that smooth stroke that we note often when we're out here in the open water. It's almost like he's doing the catch-up stroke, really holding the water very efficiently. That allows the swimmer to really engage their hips and their core as they're swimming along. So very, very efficient as he's in the water there. Probably right now holding in the second position, side by side right behind Alex, is Jordan and Arthur Frailer. Jordan kind of working up. I think they really want to get in that sweet spot, is what it looks like for me. But Alex really kind of putting it on a little bit here. And these guys look like they're fighting a little bit more than he is. So about 1,400 meters to go. And the push is on. They're thinking about a championship. As I said, there may not be anything at stake with regard to selection, but a national championship is something no one can take away from somebody, and they want it for sure. No selections for these older athletes, but there is those junior selections that are taking place.
Mike, it looks like Jordan now has retaken the lead against Alex. Alex may be settling in on his hip just a bit. Still tightly bunched behind him.
That's correct, ever so slightly there. Jordan has taken a very, very slight lead. Looks like Arthur Frailer kind of pushing around to come up there so they can see if they can go 3 across. Negotiating the buoys is a big, big factor in all races, but these shorter races, it's really going to be significant as we come around these final turns.
Mike, it looks like Arthur Frailer here beginning to really force the issue on the inside as they make their way towards that turn buoy. Willamowski with a bit of a response. Alex sitting between them.
That's correct. Here comes Frailer. He's on the inside. And if things hold right now with about 150 meters to this buoy, Frailer will come around on the inside. That's going to push Willamowski out to the outside. But very interesting to see, however, is look at Chip Peterson in the white cap and notice how very little kick he has going right now. His legs are hardly in it at all. So we're going to likely see something big from him as the race unfolds. As I said yesterday, he took that risk. He went for it, and he showed that he can really put a hurt on. And it was about at the 5-6 kilometer mark when that all started to transpire. He's going to have a very good line chip as he comes around this buoy, too. That's going to be very beneficial for him. And it's a little bit tight up there. We're going to go 3 and then 4 around this buoy. So 3 in the lead, 4 behind them. And so some guys are definitely going to be pushed to the outside a bit. And we'll probably see him settle up a little bit more straight line as we come around the buoy.
And it looked like Chip Peterson had a great line there, Mike, and he has jumped up into the top 4 and is right there on the heels of the leader.
That's correct. Still not much of a kick yet, but his stroke rate has upped a bit. No, there he settles back down again. But yeah, he came around that buoy. Chip, the veteran, knows how to work the turns, knows all the aspects of this racing that he needs to capitalize on to really come out on top in the end.
Ladies,
heading a little bit wide as we come towards this buoy.
quick reminder, ladies, you're working your way through your check-in process. Your meeting is scheduled to go here in about 23 minutes. Briefing coming up shortly. And that big pack is still together. And this is shaping up to be an outstanding finish as they make their way around buoy number 2.
So heading down the final backstretch here, Frailer has the lead. Next to him, Alex Meyer, then Jordan Willamowski. Right behind them, we got Joey Pedraza, Chip Peterson, and David Herron. And as you'd expect, the rate has increased. And Alex moving now over to work with Willamowski. That's always the interesting part that happens when you see a break like this. You know, that's an opportunity for these veterans to say, hey, listen, I may let this guy work alone. I may know a little bit and have seen some things and think that if he works alone, he's going to tire out. I'm going to go over here and maybe get here. But no, Alex definitely has really put on a push, gets over there next to Willamowski, and then settles right back down. It's almost to say, hey, listen, I'm still here. Don't forget about me. And I'm going to make you work for it. And Frailer moves over towards that top pack. Down below, closest to the boat, closest to the shore, that's David Herron in the orange Tennessee cap, but just above him, Chip Peterson. In the middle, Frailer now working all alone. That can be a dangerous position to be in, or it could be a very, very smart position to be in.
So, Mike, it looks like those guys have actually gone several abreast here. Multiple guys look like they're making a push for the lead. A little bit hard from our perspective, but is that the case?
Well, the field is definitely it's spread out. It's not as close as you're probably seeing from your perspective. As I said, we've got a guy, well, it was 3 distinct groups, and now it looks like Frailer's kind of going towards that top group a little bit more. And Alex keeps doing these tempo changes, keeps mixing things up a little bit. Down below is closest to the boat, closest to the camera. If you're watching on the live feed, David Herron and Chip Peterson just smooth and methodical right next to each other. They're a little bit off the pace of where Alex and Jordan are. But I think this next set of buoys is going to definitely tell us a lot if the field stays this wide right now, because somebody's going to be left on the outside, and that's going to be a tough position. And when we get in of less than about 800 meters, that could really make all the difference.
Well, folks, it's a great race going on. Check out the webcast. If you're not online, just hop online on your tablet or phone and check it out at usaswimming.org. The shots are exceptional this morning. The weather's perfect. The racing is white hot. These guys are really battling. We've got maybe a dozen guys in this lead pack working to win the 5K National Championship. Tremendous action as they make their way towards buoys number 3 and 4. And I think Mike Lewis is right. It may come down to the strategy and who hits those 2 buoys next. We'll see how it goes.
Back here and lead them over this way instead of behind me.
Well, Frailer now has taken the lead. The group is coming together. I don't think it's going to be as much of a factor.
Make sure he's sighting the right buoy.
Frailer taking the front spot. Alex Meyer, Jordan Willamowski just on top of him.
Less than half a circuit remaining here. Maybe 800 or 900 meters as the guys are working their way through these final stages of the 5K. Ladies, the current time is 8:52. Your briefing goes at 9:15.
Frailer's still holding that lead. Want to again make note of what we see in Chip Peterson. Chip Peterson, not much of a kick. Now he's putting a little bit in.
Quick reminder, we're going to need our finish officials and folks relating to that process to begin making their way to the finish area. Also, folks, great time to head down to the point and see the last push here across the final few hundred meters. Be ready to help these guys get home. Going to be a heck of a finish.
Some very nuanced tempo changes taking place right now from Chip Peterson, who's in the 4th position on the inside. He could have the best line going into the buoy. If he gets up there a little bit closer, he could push the other guys a bit towards the outside, not necessarily push them physically, but just in terms of space, make them swing out a bit more, giving him a little bit tighter line, having shorter distance, more direct trajectory around the buoys. This could turn out to be one of those very classic races where at the very end, coming down anywhere between 50 and 25 meters, they put a push on. We've seen a couple of attempts to kind of break away and then see things settle back down. It's another thing that goes through the mind of the swimmer is I got to have different strategies in my quiver that I can pull out at any point in time and execute during the race. And so if the breakaway didn't break them, then maybe it's just the best strategy becomes settle in, and the pack itself develops this sort of group psychology. And it's going to be interesting to see because they're looking real smooth, kind of very relaxed at this point. Doesn't look like there's any radical pace change that's happened yet. With Willamowski now in the lead. Oh, there goes Alex Meyer. Kind of pushing on the inside. Alex, again, with his veteran experience, knows that coming around these final 2 buoys, you have the inside position. That's very, very advantageous.
Folks, this is an exceptional race developing down the stretch of this men's 5K. We certainly expected that this could happen, but when you see it unfold right in front of you, it is going to be a thrilling finish, I'm sure. Alex Meyer with good position here as they make their way towards the buoys.
So Alex took that buoy on the inside, Willamowski on the outside. Arthur Frailer coming up. He's going to be on the inside, probably going to make a nice push to try to be on the inside around the buoy. But Alex has really nice position. And Alex's stroke rate has slowed down. I would venture to guess that at this point, he's thinking about, okay, we're going to turn this in to a Anthony Irvin, Nathan Adrian type sprint at the end. And so I'm going to settle down. I'm going to be ready for this. Chip Peterson close to the camera in that white American flag cap. Again, not much of a kick there, but still very, very close. Probably about 5-6 meters off the leaders. He's going to come on the inside. So watch as things unfold around this turn. Very, very interesting positioning.
Folks, we've got about 9 or 10 guys within 3 to 4 seconds of the lead as they make their way around buoy number 4. If you're not on the beach or the point, time to get down here and get these guys home. The guys move right along the shore now to the point. A group of fans gather down there.
Here comes the pace change. It is getting a little bit quicker now. They're up in the game. Alex and Jordan mostly breathing towards each other. Alex, who does breathe bilaterally, mainly breathing now to his left, keeping his eyes on Jordan. Brendan Casey now coming up back into the field. But now we're starting to see a bit of a break of force. Still plenty of racing left to go.
Mike, can you give us an update on the top 4? The fans on the beach trying to figure out who the top 4 or 5 are.
Top 4 right now in this group that's just slightly breaking away. That's Alex Meyer in the black cap, Seal Innovation, in that pink cap. That's Jordan Willamowski in the Florida Gator cap. That's Arthur Frailer, and just above him is Joey Pedraza. Behind Brendan Casey, then Chip Peterson and David Herron.
Now the guys moving towards the point. And after that, it will be the final buoy as they make their big push for the finish chute.
Yeah, this is where it's coming. Now you're seeing it coming up here a little bit more legs in this game. Alex and Jordan side by side. Remember, they've had the opportunity to not only race each other here, but last summer they were together a lot during training leading up to the World Championships. Alex started yesterday and sees a lot of promise in Jordan. And he's certainly right there. So holding it very, very close to the shore. Getting a little bit of a push and inspiration from the crowd as they're cheering him on. Arthur Frailer really working hard on the inside. But this is going to be a very, very close race coming in this sprint, just like we thought. Watch for that point when you see that rooster tail kick just come up, just like the speedboats. It's going to get really intense here. They put on that phenomenal sprint, and think about it. They've been swimming 5 kilometers, and watch the rate that they not only hold right now, but in these final meters leading in. It hurts without a doubt, but they are fighting for this national championship. And on the inside, it's Alex Meyer, Jordan Willamowski. So much positioning goes on. You know, that's not a directly parallel finish tag that they're going to hit. So, you know, somebody's going to have a bit of an inside advantage.
All right, folks, here on the beach, let's make some noise for these guys. You're doing a great job this morning. Let them hear you. Give them some energy to get them home. It is an awesome race. Mike Lewis, bring us into the finish.
Okay, yeah, we're coming on strong. Willamowski, Alex Meyer right now in those 2 positions. There you go, exactly what I called for. Look at that rooster tail. Look at Alex put it on. He has got it. He's taking it away. Jordan's staying with him. But Alex really looking strong. Look at that kick. Look how high he's getting in the water right now. His stroke rate increasing very rapidly. Willamowski on the inside staying with him. It's going to be a big pinch.
Look at this pinch on the finish.
Really difficult. Alex left a little bit, and they pinch it right there. And Willamowski has a bit of an advantage. Alex going to put on a final kick. Oh, it's hurting. And here comes Johnny Pedraza. It's going to be Alex Meyer, Troy Willamowski, Johnny Pedraza, Arthur Fraley. What an amazing finish. Amazing as they've come across.
Well, ladies, unofficially, you heard Mike Lewis call it. Amazing does not begin to describe the last 25 meters. It almost looked like the top two guys were going to actually be right into the buoy. Willamowski with a slight edge there, and it was too close to actually call it official at this point. We'll double check and get you a read on that just as soon as possible. Mike, absolutely stunning effort there by these guys in the lead pack. Great job by you and your crew out on the boat. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for this lead pack? That was a massive and epic effort.
Indeed epic.
So take a look back here, pack number 2 rolling in for their finish. While you're down there, folks, let's give these guys some energy, encouragement, and show them some love as they hit the finish board. So unofficially, it looked like it was Alex with Jordan right behind him, but we are still waiting for an update on that. We'll get you that just as quickly as possible. Here comes pack number 2. Let these guys hear you. Great job out there, gentlemen. Ladies, we'll let you know it's 9:03 and we're maybe about 12 minutes away from your briefing. Ladies briefing coming up momentarily. Test 1, 2.
rubbing alcohol, nail polish remover, and makeup remover. And I have just grabbed my makeup wipes and I'm like scrubbing off and it works.
Another group of guys making their way into the finish. Great job, gentlemen. Great job, gentlemen, as you make your way out of the chute. Let's give these guys a big round of applause. One more time, folks. Let them hear you.
Jerry, what a finish, huh? That's amazing. Was it think it was Alex? I don't. But I couldn't tell. I didn't have the angle. Yeah. But when I heard it, it's amazing strategy on that buoy. It took me right into it.